The following episode is brought to you by Tenba, maker of bags for professional filmmakers and photographers. Tenba, never compromise. Find out more at tenba.com. You're listening to Filmmakers Drinking Bourbon. Hey, what's up, World Wide Web? This is Brandon.
And this is Alex.
And we're filmmakers.
And we're also drinking bourbon.
And we're also live streaming.
We are live.
Cheers. Nice.
This isn't a rehearsal.
Yeah,
this is live.
Most people are tuning in, and this was in the past, but they're with us right now. There's people listening.
Yeah, they can tune in on the Slack group, the FDB podcast channel, and talk directly to us.
So welcome to the live broadcast of the taping. We're going to be doing this weekly now. And if you follow us on the FDB Slack group, which you can go to fdbpodcast.com and join that, there's a link to find out how. But we've got some friends that are probably online right now. And guys, if you're listening, we want you definitely to chime in throughout this show. We will definitely be responding with you on Slack. So welcome to the show. Just hop in that FDB podcast channel.
We already got people going.
I know. So what we're sipping on today is exciting.
What is this?
We have our friends.
Should kind of stick to some sort of a format.
Yeah, over our friends over at Bulleit Bourbon are just been great to us, and they have basically said that they're all in for the month of July.
Perfect. That means multiple products, right?
Oh, yeah. We've got it all. Today we are drinking the standard Bulleit Bourbon Frontier Whiskey.
Always delicious.
But they have a rye, they have a 10-year, and they have a barrel strength.
Ooh.
And I'm excited to announce that next week, Doug, I believe, from Bulleit is coming up from Louisville, Kentucky, the heart of bourbon, into Studio B.
Not just on the phone, in studio.
In studio.
Wow.
So we're really excited. A lot of fun.
Better be bringing a bourbon barrel with him.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing that we're super excited about is we have had some tremendous partners on this show. And this month, the month of July, this is July 1st.
It is.
It's 4th of July weekend.
Yeah. That's why traffic was so bad.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and this month, we have our partner, our friends at Tenba Bags. They make awesome film tools, awesome bags.
We chatted with them at NAB on the floor. Tough bags.
And we actually they have a sumo wrestler.
They do. We took a photo in front of it. It's on our Instagram.
Yeah. And so anyway, we have Peter on the phone, I believe. So we got to call.
Sweet.
We got to dial him up with the magic box.
Get him in here. Let's chat.
So FYI, Adam in the booth. We're getting a little distortion in our headphones. I'm not sure what that is. But
I'm not.
It's okay.
Mine sounds good. Everybody on the Slack group says it sounds great.
Okay, great. Yeah. Awesome. All right, so here we go. Let's dial it in and boop, 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 boop. Are you there, Peter?
I am here.
Thanks. Sometimes we have a unique phone over here, so sometimes it doesn't really dial in the way we think it should. So tell everybody.
No, that was pretty good. It's kind of like AOL in 1993.
Nice.
With some farm animals and stuff worked in there.
So we met you guys at NAB, big show, lots going on. You guys had a lot going on the floor, and Victor, I believe we connected with, was showing us these bags, and we were like, these are awesome. These things are built great. And so he connected us with you. Let us know, what's your role? How are you connected to the Tenba family? And talk a little bit about what you guys do and what you offer for the filmmaking community.
Yeah, I'm the vice president of Tenba, so I mostly run the show with a lot of dedicated people who work with a lot of great photographers and filmmakers to design and tweak all the stuff we make. So, basically everything we do is decided by the photography and filmmaking community. I mean, we just don't, no internal decisions are made without it coming from, the pros who use our products, and it's been going that way for about 39 years now.
That's great. Wow. Now, you guys let's talk a little bit about the some of your all's product lines. Is this mainly for DSLR shooters? Do you got stuff that's for, more cinema cameras? Just kind of give us the breadth of your line. Like, what do you guys carry, and what can filmmakers look for?
For years, Tenba was mostly focused on photography when, cinema and film cameras were a much larger beast. And then when DSLR started to get big, we started to dip our toe into that market. And then when things like the Red and the Canon C100, C300s and the Sonys were coming out, we started making bags for filmmakers, and we worked with some teams of filmmakers in New York and LA to develop products. In our roadie series, we built some filmmaker backpacks, and then and our shoulder bags and rollers, and then we just at NAB launched our new collection of Cinelux bags, which was designed for kind of larger cinema cameras, rigs, attached rails, follow focus, matte boxes, that kind of thing.
Nice. What about awesome. So you have pretty good capacity. What about build quality? Are they soft? Are they hard? I mean, what are they made out of?
We do both. We do hard cases. Actually, we have a kind of exclusive technology called the air case that we've been building for almost 40 years that is really kind of the rigidity of an injection molded, watertight case, but about 30 to 50% less of the weight. So nice. We build things called an air case. Put a 27-inch iMac in a shipping case. It's indestructible and it's still under 50 pounds. So that's kind of our exclusive little thing.
Good for travel.
And then on the it's great. Nobody pays overages at the airport. So for digital techs, it's huge, and people who edit on location. And then for the bags, we do soft, and then we do hard, and we do semi-hard. With the Cinelux cases, they're sort of metal reinforced, so they have great rigidity and protection, but they're still really lightweight. So much lighter weight than a typical hard case would be.
That's cool. So, what do you guys usually tell, when you're talking to filmmakers and photographers? I mean, because it's not just a bag; it's protection for their livelihood, the tool that helps them, make a living. Some of these cameras are,
50, 60 grand. Yeah.
So, what are those? Is that the message you have for the filmmaking community out there that, hey, we're here to protect your investment? How do you guys approach that?
Yeah, it's sort of like there's larger companies who answer to things like shareholders and investment groups and all this other mishigas that we do not deal with at all. We answer strictly to the working pros who use our products. So our products are always going to be built for someone who travels 250 days a year, 200,000 miles a year, just running their equipment through every conceivable kind of environment: wet, damp, hot, cold, airplanes, planes, trains, and automobiles, that whole thing. That's what we bring to the table. So, we're never the least expensive bag in any category, but that's not our job. If somebody's going to put a red Epic or a weapon or a grenade or whatever they're calling them these days,
Something dangerous.
They keep getting more militarized.
No doubt.
I'm a little nervous about where it goes from here.
So you're talking about all sorts of different scenarios. What about the insides of the cases? Does the kind of modularity and, broad spectrum outlook apply to the inside? Does it have dividers? Does it have, little sections? What's the inside of the bag look like?
Well, that's a good question, because actually with the Cinelux bags, we're trying something a little bit new. So often when we're working with filmmakers, they just tell us, look, dividers don't work, because today the camera's built like this, and then tomorrow it's got this lens on it, and it's really drastically different versus like a DSLR world where the equipment's sort of like the same size and configuration every day. So with the Cinelux bags, it has regular dividers, and then it also comes with these padded wraps and padded pouches, so that you can, if you've got the camera built into a rig, or you've got pieces attached to it and it's going to take up a lot of space, you put that in first. And then you can take your delicate accessories like other lenses or hoods or your viewfinders and audio recorders, wrap them in these padded wraps and pouches, and then kind of line them up alongside the camera. And dividers just would not be efficient at all to lay out the interior like that. But with these wraps and pouches, it just means you can carry big equipment and then take advantage of the remaining negative space in the case.
That's great. And you guys also have a lot of backpack options. So if you're doing a run and gun or like a really small crew, maybe documentary stuff on the side of a mountain, you've got some pretty cool bags in that space too, right?
Yes, we do. Right now, actually, with our roadie stuff that's even already out, we work with some documentary crews. So one, it's guaranteed to get you on the plane, no matter what plane that is. It's going to fit in the overhead. So if somebody wants to fit a C300, FS57, red on an airplane, we're like the go-to solution for that. But the next thing is that the equipment access is only through the rear. So if somebody's going to load up a red system and go to, I don't know, El Salvador for 3 weeks in the middle of the heat, and they're in a place that's kind of unfamiliar to them, and they might either perceived or otherwise have security issues, because nobody can get at the equipment through the front, top, or sides of the bag. So, you only open it up when you take it off and you open it up.
Nice.
That's great.
What about weatherproofing? Is that something you guys think about?
Yeah, is it?
Yeah,
if I got one of these,
all of our cases are.
I was just going to say, if I got one of these backpacks on and it's raining, am I trying to get an umbrella or
immediately seek cover?
It depends on the rain. We got a tornado warning in New York City today, so you might want to seek cover.
Yeah.
But we do coat all of our nylon with all of our cases are made out of nylon, not polyester. It's much more rugged, tighter weave, and it's very water repellent and tear resistant. And then we also coat it on the front and the back for water repellency. And then all of our cases usually come with a rain cover too, so that when it gets really bad, you've got an auxiliary option.
Cool.
Very cool.
That's awesome. Now let me ask you this: Are you just a manufacturer? Are you a fan? Are you a film guy? Did you start off? Did you shoot? Are you a shooter? Do you like to watch? How are you connected to the industry, or did you just get in through manufacturing?
I was a photographer, and so that's how I came into it and got really interested in bags and just started doing it. And we work with a lot of filmmakers. I mean, basically every friend I have is either a photographer or a filmmaker. So I'm pretty close to it that way. But I don't really shoot films myself, but that's why we rely on, shooters in the field. I mean, we regularly schedule meetings in New York or LA to meet with local pros to figure out what's working, what's not working. And we meet with the manufacturers to figure out, well, how big is the new Sony camera? Did it get bigger? Did it get smaller? Did it get taller? All that stuff affects the case designs.
Nice.
One of the best things that ever happened to bags was that cinema cameras got more modular, starting with the C300 and the Sony FS700 and stuff like that, and the RED system. So it's just a lot easier now because if the camera's too tall, you break it down a little. It's a lot more different than it used to be.
For sure. Well, you guys don't just make camera bags, though. We had a question on our Slack group from Brian Wilcox. Not really a question, but a comment, talking about this tri-pack armored system that looks like it can carry tripods and C-stands and all sorts of stuff. What's that about?
So, we call it our transport collection. For, again, almost 40 years, we've been making cases for light stands, tripods, and lights, everything one by one, LEDs and generators and big heads and computers. And it's all shippable. So if somebody wants to load everything from C-stands to, if somebody's got a Mac Pro that's loaded to the hilt with all the software, and all of the all their upgrades, it could be like an $8,000 machine, and they're going to check it into the belly of an airplane. That's what Tenba does every day. So
that's awesome.
For light stands and grip equipment, that we make a lot of cases for that also.
We had our Tom Terrific, who's one of our guys on the Slack group. He chimed in and said, "What about bags for drone setups? Have you stepped into that space yet?"
It's funny. We've got it on the docket, as it were, but we haven't finished it quite yet. It's still a work in progress.
All right,
nice.
Cool.
All right, something to look forward to then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the things? One of the things we like to talk about here on the show is, what's got you excited? We talk about, what are you watching? What are you excited about? What are you working on? So let's start. Let's flip it around a little bit. Let's start on, what are you working on / excited about? Is there anything you can share with us? Okay, you're the head of this company. You're the decision maker. My guess is you have some inside intel that our listeners want. They want some exclusive material here. Any teases? Anything that we could keep our eyes and ears out for?
Well, the smaller the gear, the better the bag, and that's the best thing that's happening to the industry now. So if somebody goes and get an A7S, or a Panasonic GH4 and some of these smaller cameras, or even the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, it means that they can travel and shoot insanely great quality video and not have all of the stress of having to show up at the airport with 10 giant cases. So that's a big deal for us because one of the best things that ever happened was that Apple discontinued the 17-inch laptop, so we don't have to build cases to fit them anymore because it was a beast.
Yeah.
It was an 8-pound beast. So we work really closely with the manufacturers, like I said. So, as more people switch to like these smaller cameras for some jobs, like the A7 is a perfect example, it just means that we can build smaller cases that do everything that our big cases do, but somebody can fit it under the seat of an airplane and not have to stress about it and think, oh my God, is my luggage going to get lost or, whatever, it's going to get damaged. Yeah, those things are really good. And the ENG guys, like we work with some guys from CBS and NBC, and they're traveling with smaller red cameras and C100s, some of them now. And that's a big difference for those guys, where they used to have these monster cameras that required so much special care. And now, it just literally fits under the seat of an airplane.
That's great. Do you guys have any cases for bourbon?
It's funny.
We could use one of their wraps from the Cine series.
Yeah. Because,
I had some Angel's Envy last night, and when I was thinking, man, I need to make a case for this bottle, it's kind of tall and thin.
Well, you know what? I think there's a market because a lot of times, we work with the bourbon brands, and they'll ship us some of the promotional stuff, and of course they have to follow the regulations for shipping alcohol and stuff, but it usually comes in all this bubble wrap and in these boxes, and it seems like there's a play there.
There's an easier way to do it.
There's a play there. Yeah. Bourboncases.com. Hey, call me when the show's over. All right,
I'll go by that.
You've got the. Hey, I've got the demand, although it might be small, but you've got the supply chain. So let's talk about this.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Hey, speaking of bourbon, what are some of your favorite bourbons? You mentioned Angel's Envy. You like any other ones?
Usually my Blanton's is my go-to. Kind of day in, day out. Although I'm actually considering switching to the Angel's Envy because I love that. I love the Bulleit 10-year. That's kind of my standard. Also.
Nice.
Like Elijah Craig is I've only got $20 in my wallet, but I want a whole bottle.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of my fallback cheap one. Yeah.
Nice.
Elmer T was great when Elmer T was only about $20 a bottle. That was really good. And then, it went up to $400 and that became a problem.
Yeah. Adam's shaking his head.
Let me ask you this. Do you have any, if you go plastic bottle, what's your favorite?
Nobody goes plastic bottle.
Yeah, you do. There's a time. There's a time and a place.
What I do for plastic bottle is that I buy the real stuff in the glass, and then I buy those platypus silicone bottles at REI, and that way I can bring it to the concerts in the park in New York City, and nobody stops me.
There you go. So you mentioned New York. Where are you at in New York?
Brooklyn.
Okay, nice. A good friend of ours, DP Angus Oborn, is out of New York, and he's been on the show before, and great guy. He knows all the guys over at Adorama, Abel Cine, I think.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. New York is just such a great place, and because the cost of equipment has come down so much, there's so many people working on great passion projects. It's just exciting. It's great to be able to talk to somebody that they didn't have to dedicate their body to medical testing like Rodriguez did, for a bunch of years in order to get a film done. They can just go and knock it out.
Hey, speaking of projects, what's getting you excited nowadays? What are you watching that is motivating you film-wise? Or
stuff
TV.
On. Well, I love all of the tight little shows on Netflix and Amazon. I love small stuff. I love knowing that a whole bunch of people got together. They pull all these actors from 10 other projects, and they give somebody 10 days, and then they can film this little tight show on Netflix. And there's not a lot of overhead, so that means that it's probably going to get picked up for seasons 2 and 3. And they're just fun. I get so much enjoyment out of watching them because the whole show doesn't read like it went through 9 different committees, to try and distill it for a broad audience.
Any specific shows you want to throw out?
Man, I'm blanking right now.
Yeah.
That's what
obviously not the Game of Thrones. That's not what you're talking about.
No. Nothing like that large scale. I like that show Superstore. I can't remember. It was like America Ferrera did it, and that's one of those shows that's on. And then I like.
I'll have to check that. I've never heard of that. Let's check that out.
Yeah.
Wait, that's where they're working at like a Walmart, but they're all kind of a mishmash. Okay, yeah. That's on. I know it's on Hulu.
I haven't seen that one.
Streaming, and that looks like it looked funny. I hesitated to jump in on it, but now I'll check it out for sure.
And I like the end of the tight little animated shows like BoJack Horseman and Archer. I like all those little projects because all those things, I feel like 15 years ago, there's just no way those things would have existed past, 10 minutes.
Yeah. That's great. Well, I'll tell you, one of my, you mentioned Brooklyn, one of my favorite places on the planet, literally my favorite place on the planet is Peter Pan Donuts.
I've never been to Peter Pan Donuts.
Oh my gosh! You listen. It's in Greenpoint, near Williamsburg. It's maybe the best donut on the planet. Definitely the best donut in New York.
You've got a thing for donuts, though. I mean,
I'm
kind of
telling you,
you're a connoisseur.
I've been to many a donut place across the country. I actually have a project I want to do that involves donut shops, but they're by far the best. You got to go.
Wow, that sounds great. Yeah. I'm going to check it out tomorrow. That's where I was last night in Billyburg. And we got a great donut food truck here that's cider donuts that's really good. And then they also do it where they split a cider donut in the middle and fill it with vanilla ice cream.
Yep.
And I'm not sure if that's actually legal.
Well,
but
yeah, and here's the thing, too. I'm a donut purist. So New York is like a donut promised land. There's actually if you look it up, there's a New York donut map that maps all the donut shops. But my two favorite, I like the old shops, the original gangster donut shops. And so Peter Pan in Greenpoint, Brooklyn is one. But then if you're on Manhattan, like Midtown, there's the Donut Pub. And they're famous for their velvet cake donuts. So the newfangled places that want to, put Fruity Pebbles on their donuts, I don't buy into that.
Yeah.
Well, the dough and the donut plant, they're pretty good, but it's kind of like it's a little bit of a glossed over production. So
I agree.
I got no problem with it in my mouth. It tastes amazing.
Oh man! Well, I'll tell you what.
Let's say I just got something to throw
go ahead.
out. I was going to say donuts are like bourbon. I haven't had a bad one yet.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Well, speaking of that, doesn't look like there's a bad case in your all's portfolio of bags. And, talking with your team, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys have said that you are willing to give away a pretty awesome bag. And I have down that for the FDB giveaway for July is the 22-inch Rode HDSLR video backpack. Is that true, or am I in trouble now?
That is in fact true,
awesome.
And that is the go-to backpack for a whole bunch of really big deal filmmakers.
Well, I'll tell you what, it looks awesome. This thing has a capacity for 2 DSLRs, 6 to 8 lenses, monopod, shotgun mic. I'm just reading off the website here. It looks pretty awesome. It's got a lot of things going on. This thing retails at like $350, and our listeners have a shot at getting it. So, Peter, here's how we do it on the show. We let people connect on Twitter, and so what we do is we make sure that they shout out on Twitter to @Tenba, and you guys are @Tenba, correct?
@Tenba Bags.
All right, @Tenba Bags, and then they need to shout out to @FDB Podcast and include the hashtag FDB giveaway. If they do those three things, we'll know that they entered to win the July giveaway, and the one lucky winner,
pull it out of a hat.
We will draw it live on
Instagram.
Instagram, pull out their name, and then we'll get them connected with you guys to get their bag. But we really appreciate that. That's so cool. What a great thing for the filmmakers out there. I could see one of our listeners getting that bag and going off to shoot their documentary in the remote hills of
Sao
Peru.
Paulo or somewhere. Crazy. That is awesome.
That's great. We're happy to be a part of it. We love the podcast. We listen to it all the time.
Awesome.
So
we appreciate it, Peter. And we thank you so much. And I think you guys now you guys have a connection to some other brands as well. And I know that moving into August, we're going to connect with the team over at Benro Tripods.
Yes, they're one of our sister companies. Yeah, they have got some great tripods, sliders, jigs, all kinds of stuff.
So it's good pairing and partnership.
Yeah, and that's just so cool. And so we really appreciate all you guys and your team just being so hospitable to us and on the show. So thanks so much. We're going to continue to share your all's products throughout the month of July. So if there's anything else that pops up or any new stuff that happens, hit us up and we'll get it out there so everybody can check it out.
Yeah, sounds great. Thanks so much.
All right, cool, man. Have a wonderful time, and stay safe from that tornado.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Enjoy the Independence Day.
All right, cheers, buddy.
Sweet.
Cheers.
Peter.
Cheers
to that, man.
Cheers to Peter.
Cheers to Peter.
Wow.
22-inch roadie backpack.
Wow, Peter was our first live guest.
It went well, I think.
It did all right.
Yeah,
it
we
was
already
fun.
got, dude, I'm checking out the Slack group right now, and everybody's peeping the bag. I just posted a link.
Yeah, people want in.
Oh, you got to get the bag.
Yeah, so check it out. If you're listening now, whether you are listening live or whether you're listening over the 4th of July weekend, you've realized that there's something going on at Filmmakers Drinking Bourbon.
Oh, always.
This is no longer
Dude, it never stops.
a startup podcast.
No.
We have evolved. We are on episode 54. We have monthly film partners. We have bourbon partners.
All the time.
We are bringing you the top bourbons in the industry.
I mean, we got Bulleit this month.
is a monthly partner.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Bulleit is like one of the biggest.
And yeah.
Oh, my God.
And we have Tenba bags, who's the partner for July, and we're giving
Fantastic
away a
gear.
$350 bag.
Yeah. These are household names in video production. It's like,
Yeah.
these aren't just tiny little companies.
Not only that, we are bringing you the show live. You no longer have to wait for it. You can hear it while we tape it. You hear
can chime in.
a little behind the scenes you get to listen to. You get to hear how we bring it together.
Yeah.
And lastly, what Alex just mentioned is that we have launched a tremendously successful Slack group, which is a place for filmmakers to connect. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. There's other groups out there, networking groups for filmmakers. They want to charge you. They want to charge you weekly and monthly to be involved. Ours is an open community. We want it to grow.
Yeah.
We want you guys to share it. All you have to do is go to the FDBpodcast.com site, sign up. We will vet you to make sure you are a filmmaker.
You got to be real. Yeah. You got to be a real filmmaker.
But once we vet you, as long as we look like you're a filmmaker, we welcome you to the community. And once you're in the community, you can chime in on live broadcasts like this.
The possibilities are endless.
Sheesh.
We have good conversations every day.
So,
Also, we have weekly meetups.
yeah, a lot of exciting stuff happening.
Anyway.
But let's talk a little bit about the drama of today.
I was going to say.
What happened?
Well, speaking of, this is a fully fledged, flying podcast now. If this were a small thing, I could have just called it off today and said, no, not doing it, not coming in.
You delayed our live broadcast
By half an hour. It wasn't me.
Wow.
It was some jackhole on 71 headed home to his 4th of July barbecue.
Who could be
Yeah.
listening to us right now?
Good. You should drive like a normal, sane person, whoever you are. Anyway, there was a big wreck. I got held up. I probably yelled way too loud in my closed vehicle, but I'm here.
Nice.
The things I do for this podcast, put myself in rush hour. That's what I do.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Anyway.
You've had a lot going on.
Hey, dude, I
You're
do.
a little stressed out.
I'm feeling good.
You bought a house.
Bought a house.
You got the keys. You're painting. Right?
I've painted 3 rooms already. We're painting a 4th. We're caulking, sanding, grinding, doing everything we can before we move furniture in on Sunday.
A lot of grinding.
Lots of grinding.
Did you? Do you feel like a homemaker? A
Homemaker?
homeowner?
I'm a homeowner. Very protective of my home. It already feels like home, I'm telling you.
Nice.
Yeah. But anyway,
That's
so
awesome.
we don't really get to enjoy our 4th of July weekend. We
Gotcha.
pack tomorrow and tonight. We move on Sunday. We unpack on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
But I got my grill, so I'm going to be grilling out.
Let me ask you this. A lot of people are doing this now.
Yeah.
A lot of people are having stock the bar parties. Have you guys talked about that?
No, that sounds amazing, though.
Okay, it's a thing.
Where
It's a
people
thing.
just bring me liquor?
Well, it's like a housewarming,
Yeah?
but it's like a housewarming
Ooh.
/ you say it's a, quote, stock the bar housewarming. Everybody shows up with liquor.
Gotcha.
And because
Can I put a minimum on the bottle?
here's the thing, because it's like a thing, no one's showing up with the plastic bottle.
Yeah.
People are going to be bringing you Bookers and Blantons, and next thing you know, you're going to have this amazing
Sweet.
bourbon library.
You know what's good is I've got like a 15-foot bar in my basement that I need to stock.
Okay, good, because here's the thing. I can't do it anymore. Like, I'm 15 years in on my marriage. I can't just say, have a stock the bar party.
Everybody bring me stuff. Yeah.
I missed the boat on this movement.
All right.
But you're in.
Done. Let's
Okay.
do it. And you know what? You're really good at social media, so you can set it up.
We'll talk later about my cut of the of the bourbon stock.
Yeah. If we get a bottle of something nice, you can have a sip.
Yeah,
I'll let you have
gotcha,
a sip.
gotcha.
Pour you a glass.
So, anyways,
That sounds like a cool idea. Well, speaking of 4th of July, what are your plans? What do you got going
You
on?
know what, man? We're just chilling with the kids, probably hitting the pool, hanging out with family.
Watching some Netflix at night.
You know, either that. Typically, I've been on this kick recently. If you follow my Twitter at Brandon Ferris, I'm a weekend documentary binger.
Yeah, you were.
Last weekend, I watched 3.
What?
I watched 3 last weekend.
I'm sure they were completely different
on
subjects.
Saturday.
What were they?
On Saturday. So I tweeted them out. On Saturday, I watched Poverty Inc., which is all about how doing good sometimes does bad.
Really?
So, for instance, Tom's Shoes. You think it's a good thing unless you're the guy who makes shoes in Tanzania.
Oh, for like pennies on the...
If you're the cobbler, you're not real happy when the Tom's truck comes because that means you're out of business. Because what's better, a $5 pair of shoes or a free pair of shoes?
Yeah.
A $20 pair of shoes or a free pair of shoes?
True.
So Poverty Inc. explores all of these NGOs, nonprofits, who think they're doing good by sending over solar panels and rice, etc. But really what they're doing is they're depleting a nation's ability to stand on its own. Very, very moving, very interesting, very challenging.
Wow.
From there, I went to Blackfish. Finally watched that on SeaWorld's behavior of having these giant whales.
You just saw that?
They kill people.
You just saw it?
Yeah, I just saw it.
Dude, it's crazy.
It's dark. I watched it with my daughter.
Oh, did you hear?
Wow.
You finally heard they're no longer doing the shows now.
Well, they're still doing the shows.
They're no longer going out to capture them.
They're no longer capturing.
Yeah.
I believe they're no longer breeding, and they're phasing the shows out over the course of 2 years.
Yeah. So eventually it'll be gone.
Yeah. So
Crazy.
I watched that. And
Dude,
then,
don't worry about that because it'll all just be holographic whales at some point, and you'll get them to like talk to you and
Sure.
like high five your kid. So.
Yeah. And then the last one I watched, which was one of my favorites, was The Iron Sheik.
The Iron Sheik.
The Iron Sheik, the documentary on the Iron Sheik, which was actually
the wrestler.
Yeah, which was actually screening the year we were in Toronto, and we missed it. It's so good, dude. He's amazing.
His Twitter account is unbelievable.
Oh, you got to follow the Iron Sheik
because it's really him.
Yeah.
He's tweeting this stuff out.
Yeah, it's great. So it was a lot of fun, and then I watched Dressed Fresh. It's all about like hip hop and like hip hop fashion inspired stuff. Really
that's up
great.
your alley.
Oh, it's so good.
For anybody that hasn't seen Brandon, he always wears a different Cincy fitted every day.
I have a tropical floral. It gets a lot of compliments. A lot of people talk about it.
It's summer, man.
And then the last thing
the
last thing I've watched that I really liked, and it's actually research because I'm going to be shooting something. I'm going to be shooting a friend climbing down at the gorge. He's connected to some climbing brands, so we're going to shoot some drone stuff with him at this awesome outdoor drone place or gorge place in Kentucky. But it's called Valley Uprising: Yosemite's Rock Climbing Revolution. Stop what you're doing this weekend. Put Valley Uprising into your queue because your mind's going to be blown. It's the most radical thing you've ever seen. Dudes, free solo climbing. Dude, it's nuts what these guys are doing. It's crazy.
Who's that dude that's repping North Face? The best in the world? The
top climber climbed the top 3 biggest mountain faces in Yosemite.
Yeah.
Okay, Half Dome, El Capitan, and one other one.
Yeah,
he
free
climbed
solo.
all 3.
Yeah.
Free solo, no rope.
Yep.
He climbed all 3 in 18 hours.
That's insanity.
18 hours.
That's including hiking down and then doing the next one. Wow.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Craziness.
That's like a death wish, though.
But
One slip and you're gone.
But it all started in the 70s, and there's this side story, and this is going to make you watch the film. There's a side story where in the 70s, these climbers are all freeloading in Yosemite, and a plane crashes. They got word from the control tower. Turns out the plane was from Colombia. They were drug running.
Ooh.
And about 10 rock climbers chanced upon a pot of marijuana gold. True story.
In the plane?
Yes.
Fuselage?
And that story, you got to find out the real story, but that story inspired Cliffhanger, starring Sly Stone. Done.
Wow.
What have you been watching?
I can't follow that up. I mean, Jesus. You're like learning stuff, and I'm over here like, Game of Thrones was cool.
They had a real nice dragon.
I watched the one about the politics. Yeah. Like, we just finished Veep, Silicon Valley, and Game of Thrones.
Silicon Valley is amazing.
It's like my favorite show.
Oh, it's so good.
The season finale left me kind of
so good.
a little lackluster on the end there, but it was, it's funny. but it's like you're learning stuff.
It's the funniest show ever.
Yeah.
The guy who plays the stoner is amazing.
Oh, yeah. What's
Aviato.
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 My Aviato? What other Aviato is there?
If you haven't watched Silicon Valley, start watching.
Yeah.
Oh,
Erlich Bachman.
Yeah, Erlich Bachman. Yeah.
What Erlich Bachman here for my meeting with CEO.
What about films, man? You always watch more films than I do.
I watch lots of films. Recently, my time's been spent on the move.
Yeah, true.
But there are actually, speaking of films, there are a lot.
LA Film just chimed in on
Bachmanity
on the Slack group and said Bachmanity. So if you're watching the show, you know what that means.
Oh God,
man, this is fun having the Slack guys on here, isn't it?
Yeah, we got to get the iPad in here so we can see it. Live
Tom Terrific says I have some footage of freestyle rock climber filmed back in the 80s. That's awesome.
Tom, what medium was that on back in was that film or was that Super VHS or
what were you shooting on, Tom?
What was that?
He'll
type it out. Anyway, there are a bunch of movies that were filmed in Cincinnati that are coming out.
Yeah, that's true.
You have
The Fits.
The Fits is coming out. Marauders with Bruce Willis, and I think
that premieres. That premiered last night, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I was supposed to go, and then I had a big internal meeting.
All the local people that went, or that
I know. I was supposed to go. Me and Rachel were all excited.
Shot on Beta SP. Nice.
Excellent.
Nice. Anyway, so I haven't really been watching movies. I've been watching the Netflix and getting ready for the move. But once we're all in the house, it's hardcore going for it.
Yeah, of course. Are you going to set up a theater?
Yeah, that's the basement.
Nice.
You'll see. I'll have you and Rachel over.
For film?
Yeah.
What's the showing going to be?
Yeah. Tonight's showing is paired with a lovely Bulleit tenure. Yeah. It's going to be good, man.
That's good. Well, what have you been working on anything or just moving?
Yeah. So, Brad, if you're in the Slack group, you got a sneak peek of a few projects I've been working on.
Yeah, let's elaborate real quick.
Go ahead.
The benefits of the Slack group are not only that you get to network with other filmmakers across the country, but it's a great place to share rough cuts, get feedback from people on projects.
Semi-private environment. Yeah.
It's kind of an exclusive group. We're really sort of, tailoring it to be something special. And it's been really fun. So a lot of people in the group have been sharing projects that are work in progress and getting sort of sneak peeks. So it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. And you shared a little an image of the project we've been doing.
Yeah, I posted a rough cut for like just 5 minutes, and then I pulled it down.
Yeah,
so
it was of the UC spot.
Whoever was logged in got to see it, and so it was fun. So I got some cool feedback, and everybody it's cool. It's exciting.
That's the UC commercial we shot recently on.
And Brad, you were getting ready to talk about Brad. You shot a music video with Brad.
Shot a music video with Brad.
He posted a screenshot.
A screenshot of his timeline that showed his edit.
It was like right when the client saw it.
Exactly. He hadn't gotten feedback from the client yet. So as far as I know, it could have been completely shredded and ripped apart. But no, it's cool. So that's the huge benefit is you get the insider knowledge and info.
Yeah, that's fun.
But project-wise, got a few coming up. Actually, I was up 5 a.m. this morning. I woke up at 4:15. Had to be down at Union Terminal at 5:30.
Oh, yeah.
To shoot some train stuff. Yeah, B-roll.
We're shooting sunrise stuff.
Some sunrise trains. Yep.
Nice.
What about you, man? What are you working on?
Well, we've got a lot of animations right now in the hopper. So Ryan is real busy back at Leap Frame. Him and Kyle are cranking out some
2D
animation explainer video stuff.
2D, 3D?
2D. All 2D animation.
Nice.
And so that's pretty cool. And
you're wrapped up in paperwork.
I'm wrapped. Yeah, I'm doing a lot of administrative stuff, but I'm actually right now working a lot with Adam. Adam was on the show a couple weeks ago or last week.
He took my spot.
He is heavy in composing and doing the original score for the stuff for the University of Cincinnati spots, which sound amazing. And so actually this week, I guess it was Tuesday and Wednesday, I shot some behind-the-scenes stuff while Adam was tracking the choir, singing, and the drum line from the UC marching band.
See, right now would be the perfect time to just go ahead and cue that up.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It sounded basically like
perfect.
That's basically it. And so I've been working on that, and so that's going to be wrapping up shortly, and we've got a couple things in the hopper. We're looking to jump on the next project. And I am at a point where I'm now ready to start pushing forward on my ukulele documentary. We talked about that very briefly.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to get it going.
It got pushed in the background. But speaking of projects, where are we at on Kill Game? You were in charge of the color correction.
Yeah, I got you here. Let me show you this little screen cap.
All right, so Alex is working with, I believe, Ratledge? Chris Ratledge. Chris Ratledge doing color. So our film, beautiful.
That's the first pass.
Looks great, yeah.
So
the
nice
film
and
is
muted, a little darker.
The film's being colored right now, and then I believe I confirmed verbally in the hallway in passing with Adam that him and his team here at Sound Images will be officially doing the scoring and sound
Where'd Adam?
mix,
He just
mixing.
walked out. He just slammed down his phone.
No, he didn't.
No.
He's going to be doing the sound mixing and scoring for Kill Game, so we're super excited to get him the picture on that. And so I'm assuming here in the next month or so he'll kick that off.
Here comes another Slack exclusive request from Josh Emerson. Here you go, buddy. You ready? You're gonna
Josh wants the screen capture, so we're gonna post it. So again, this would be a great time to transition that. If you're listening out there, sign up for the Slack group. Go to fdbpodcast.com. You'll see Slack pop up. Click that link somewhere. Follow it. It's going to request you to send an email to us. We're going to check to make sure you're a filmmaker. We'll send you an invite. At that point, come join the community. Right now, we're like at 50 people in the community and growing. It's a lot of fun. We're learning a lot. We're sharing stuff together, tips, tricks, demo reels, the whole nine. So it's a lot of fun. And now that same group is a group that we're interacting with live during the taping on Mixlr, which the whole world can listen to as it's happening. Really cool stuff. You can actually be a part of the show. You could only listen to the show. Now you can actually be a part of the show.
That's what it's all about.
So it's a lot of fun.
We keep pushing the bar up.
Yeah. So, and again, we had Tenba, great partner, and we were giving away that awesome bag. It's worth $350. Go check it out. We'll put a link on Twitter. Great bag for if you're traveling and you need to carry gear. This thing can really pack it in. It's got rain resistant. It's got a rain protection bag. And
like they said, it fits on any airplane. Yeah. So you don't have to be worried about that.
So check that out. It's simple. All you got to do to enter to win is mention at Tenba Bags, at FDB Podcast, and hashtag FDB Giveaway.
And that's on Twitter, just for your knowledge.
On the Twitters.
Do it on the Twitters. Anyway, now there's lots of cool stuff coming up. That's in color. Music videos in color. Your things in sound. I mean, there's
things
so
are
much.
happening. Is there anything you're excited about?
Year.
Anything you've heard about? I'm excited about that new McConaughey film.
Are you excited about the Canon C700? Since you kept posting about it,
I did. I posted in the cinematography. I saw a link on
it was fake.
Some blog. Was it?
Yeah. Somebody hacked together a JPEG flyer and sent it out with all the Canon logos and everything. And well, the dead giveaway was that it used 2.5-inch solid state SSDs.
Huh.
You can't fit those inside of a C500 style body.
I just saw on someone else's blog, or it popped up on one of my feeds, and I was like, interesting. So, but I think Canon, if you're listening, you should probably make this camera.
They will. They've been talking about making something to compete with the Alexa Amira F55 range of cameras.
I'll tell you this much. I'm a believer after the UC spot we just shot. I love the Alexa Mini.
The Mini?
I love that camera.
It's the same thing as the Alexa. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just cute. It's the difference between a puppy and a full-grown dog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everyone wants the puppy.
Well, no doubt, but they don't stay puppies for long. However, the Alexa Mini does stay a puppy forever.
Yeah, it's a puppy forever.
And it's also a very powerful puppy. 200 frames a second.
Yeah.
You can do anamorphic, which we did. You can record RAW.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just going to suggest that for every project from now on.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not contesting whatsoever.
Yeah.
So a lot of fun stuff. Man, this has been this show's nonstop.
I got
now.
one more thing.
What's that?
Promise I would do it. I got to give a shout out to my buddy Zach Dalton. Just released a trailer to his new short film, Mayfield.
All right, right on.
So this guy, he lives just north of Cincinnati. He's a indie director, shooter, all around great guy, family man. But he just released his trailer, and I'm going to post it in the Slack group.
Nice.
So everybody can take a peek at it. But
Cool,
yeah,
man.
support indie film and check out Mayfield.
Awesome.
Should be coming out soon.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's been a lot of fun. One heck of a show.
Yeah.
I'm glad you made it here safe and you weren't in a wreck.
Exactly. A little angry, but not in a wreck.
Right. So as we sign off today, again, one last big shout out to Bulleit Bourbon. You guys are treating us. If you're listening now, you know we're feeling good.
You're delicious.
This stuff tastes amazing. It smells amazing. If you've never had Bulleit Frontier Whiskey, first of all, what planet are you from? Second of all,
Aren't they available in Kenya now?
yeah, they're available all over the world.
You remember that episode?
This stuff is made pure from the Kentucky limestone filtered water in the Bulleit family tradition.
Does it taste like angel's tears?
Well, no, but it feels like a family. It tastes like a family tradition. So go out. It's 4th of July weekend. Buy a bottle of the Bulleit Bourbon Frontier Whiskey and see what it was like to live on the frontier. And next week we're gonna have Doug, I believe, coming on the show. It's gonna be amazing. Who knows? He might show up with some bourbon that's like no one's ever had before. I don't know if he's going to bring us a tasting.
Something unnamed
I have
and
no
unregistered?
clue what's going to happen.
Like some weird yeast
Yeah,
strain?
I think I've met him before at the Blade and Bow event I went to.
Really?
Yeah. So anyway, excited. Thanks so much, Bulleit. We love you guys. Really cool. We got a lot of great bourbons that are going to be coming on the show throughout the year. We've got some lined up. And again, Tenba, you guys are great.
Amazing.
We love talking to you. That was a lot of fun. Peter, make sure you get those donuts. If you are listening from New York, obviously you know what Peter Pan donuts are. Amazing.
Maybe not.
If not, get them.
Yeah.
And be sure to enter to win at FDB Podcast, at Tenba Bags, hashtag FDB giveaway.
Enjoy the 4th of July and don't mix bourbon with too many fireworks.
Yeah, don't drink and drive, whatever you do. And again, we're not here to promote alcoholism,
Just good times in film.
but we are here to promote drinking a lot of bourbon.
Yeah. All right, man. Good episode.
Cheers.
Cheers.
This podcast was recorded live at Sound Images Studio. Find out more at soundimages.com.